which is always good. It's always good when things are working. So, speaking of things working, we are back. It's another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. Here as we always are on Wednesdays. So we have just a bunch of baseball for today. We're going to talk a little bit more about Adrian Griffin, probably in the upcoming week or so. Just want to make sure we get all of our thoughts collected and have all of our ducks in a row with that. We have tons of bonus content coming, lots of stuff that we've been planning, some stuff that we have recorded that we're going to start putting out. So lots and lots of bonus content coming soon. If you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, that's where a lot of that bonus content is going to be appearing, as well as probably a little bit on the YouTube side as well. YouTube, like when we do like the shorter videos of the reels and stuff with our stats and stuff like that, YouTube crops it weird. So I don't like posting stuff to YouTube as often when it's multiple of us talking. If it's just one of us, then it's not as big of a deal. I can crop that one person, but yeah, YouTube is more horizontal, where everything else is more the portrait, so, or landscape. YouTube is portrait. Everything else is landscape. Anyways, so lots of fun bonus content coming, which is going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, probably getting repetitive already saying the word fun, but lots of fun stuff coming and lots of stuff planned for the summer before we get close to Packer season again. So, all right, today we have 4 games, and then 1 game to talk about from the Brewers' previous week of games. So we're going to start, as we usually do, with our power pairs and underrated performers. So, Jake, give me your Brewers power pair and underrated performer.
So for my power hitter, I went with Andrew Monasterio. Can't go wrong with this guy, right? His smile alone should put him up for power pair, right? He's just enjoying life right now. 16 at bats, 5 hits, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 2 walks. These are his splits for the last week. 313 average, 389 on base percentage, 563 slugging percentage, and a 951 OPS. So I mean, he's been producing along with being great in the clubhouse, in my opinion. For my pitcher, I went with Tehran. He gave up 2 earned runs over the last 12 innings pitched. They were both solo shots against the Reds. Obviously, everybody knows we lost that one 2-0. He gave up 10 hits, and people are like, why would you pick a guy that gave up 10 hits? Well, he pitches the contact, and I actually like that.
Yep.
The defense has to be on their toes, but yeah, he pitches the contact, pitches, to in the strike zone, which is a good thing, right? Don't be messing around. Only 1 walk and 5 Ks. Thing about Tehran, he's been around for a while. He's been in a lot of games, pitched a lot of innings. He understands. And there was actually a game where him and Freddie were just sitting next to each other, and he was showing Freddie some stuff. So me and you were talking about that. So we'd love to see that. For my underrated performer, I went with Abraham Toro.
I like it.
Toro, he appeared in 3 games. He got 3 hits. 1 he ripped for a double, by the way. Or no, not a double, just a single. But he absolutely ripped one that put us up 2-0 is what I meant to say. In 7 at-bats, he got 3 hits, scored 1 run, had a home run and 3 RBIs. So, again, he's producing an underrated performer, so you might not have noticed that. But he's also been playing some pretty good defense, too.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Taylor, welcome back. Right back at you. So I went for my power position player. I went with Joey Wiemer. Joey Wiemer is now on a 7-game hitting streak. He had the walk-off hit last night. And a very, very underrated play because it didn't end in like a diving catch or anything like that. The play that he made in right center field last night to run that ball down, like the fact that you see where he's standing when the ball is like first made contact with, and then you see him like just gone into that right center gap. Like that's such a difficult play that goes a little bit underrated because he didn't dive or anything like that to make that catch. But over the last week, Joey Wiemer, 9 for 23. That's a 391 batting average. He had 4 doubles, 4 RBI, 5 runs scored, and his batting average is up 26 points in the last 7 days.
He's seeing the ball very well right now.
He is very much picking up steam. And then for my power pitcher, I went with Elvis Peguero. 4 appearances in the last week. Okay, so he made 4 appearances in the last week. In 3 of them, he allowed 0 hits and 0 walks. In 1 of them, he allowed 2 hits and 2 walks, which were the only 2 hits and the only 2 walks he gave up during the week. He did not allow an earned run, and he had 4 strikeouts. He lowered his ERA by 45 points. So a very good week for him. I considered using Tehran as my underrated performer, but I went with Adrian Hauser. Now, last week, I brought up the exit velocities that he had. Taylor said Weimer's haircut for underrated performer. I brought up the exit velocities against Adrian Hauser in that Blue Jays game. And I'm glad you mentioned that you like that Julio Tehran pitches to contact, because Adrian Hauser is the exact same way.
Yep.
They're cut from the same cloth. They like to get a lot of ground balls. That's what gives you the ability to go deeper into games with a lower pitch count versus a guy like Freddie Peralta, who pitched fantastic yesterday, but he's a guy who goes for strikeouts. So he has, the 8-9 pitch at bats that, they do end in strikeouts, and Freddie Peralta had a bunch of them last night. But when you're Adrian Hauser and you can get a bunch of double plays, it's a lot easier to get through innings on fewer pitches. So I looked at Adrian Hauser's stats in the 2 games before and the 1 game after that Blue Jays game. And if you look at them combined, 18 innings, 18 and a third, 12 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, and only 1 earned run. So you look at the starts surrounding that Blue Jay start, Adrian Hauser looks really damn good.
Yeah, he does.
And we'll talk about his most recent start when we get there. So that's who I went with. And then, so today we did get some news on some of the guys that are working back. Jesse Winker is appearing in Nashville. He hit his first home run of the season as a member of the Nashville Sounds, which it is what it is. But that's still for him to be getting the ball over the fence. Maybe that's something that'll translate when he gets back to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Next this was announced just about an hour ago that Willy Adames is back with the Brewers and Bryce Terang has been sent to Nashville. Now, Bryce Terang will be back. Probably very soon, actually, I would bet. I would be willing to bet that he's back before the end of the month. He's just out of the guys that are those utility type players where Terang is playing 2 positions of shortstop and second base. And then you're looking at Mike Brasso, who was already sent down. And then you're looking at Abraham Toro and Andrew Monasterio. Those 2 guys, they're in Jake's power pair and underrated performer for a reason. Those guys can't be sent down right now because they're playing too well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that if over the next couple series that Abraham Toro kind of flattens out a little bit and Bryce Terang is raking in Nashville, that they don't trade places.
Yep.
So I don't look at this at all as a quote unquote demotion for Bryce Terang. It's really just sending him down to get some more at bats and get his swagger back a little bit. So that's what I'm looking at for Bryce Terang as he is being sent down. Other than that, Willy Adames is back, which is good to see. Seeing him and Luis Urias now back on the same team together, the best buds on the field together now that they're both healthy again. And Taylor said, man, imagine when Woody gets back, Burns, Woody, Freddie, Hauser, Julio, what a good looking rotation, man. And don't leave Colin Ray out.
I was going to say, what about Colin Ray, man?
Colin Ray has been pretty solid. And I said this in my the group chat of Brewers writers that I'm in. Wade Miley is making some starts at AA Biloxi.
Oh, boy.
So I kind of want a Wade Miley Biloxi Shuckers jersey. I can't lie. It'd be kind of awesome. I am rocking my my crew shirt from Wisco Ball today, which if you haven't already, check out Wisco Ball. They have nice. Well played.
Yeah.
I think the underrated part of all the Wisco Ball shirts is that they're actually super comfortable.
Oh, dude, they fit so good.
And they're so good. And they're soft too.
They're so soft.
It's not like a scratchy T-shirt like the Gildan shirts that are fucking itchy. They're actually like really soft, really comfortable shirts. So
they're nice. They make me look good,
Yeah. That's why Taylor keeps calling us good looking, because we're wearing our Whistle Ball t-shirt.
So shout out to Tyler for making me good looking.
Not me, Tyler. Whistle Ball Tyler. The guy that owns Whistle Ball, his name is Tyler also.
Yeah, so. just so many Tylers I'm surrounded.
Yeah, instantly, we hit it off right away. So can't imagine why.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna finish up the Blue Jays series. We talked about Game 1 last week, and that's why I mentioned Adrian Hauser. What stood out to you from the second game of that Blue Jays series?
So, first of all, Tehran had a really, really good start in this game. And before I get into anything, I just want to point out that this game, there was 0 walks and 0 strikeouts from the entire pitching staff.
I got some stats on that.
I know you have the stats on that. We were talking last week. So,
oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna bring it up. Tyler's gonna hit it over the fence, and that's what we're
Jake's
gonna
just setting the ball on the tee for me right now.
Yep, and that's how this works, and I'm okay with that. I'll be the ball sitting on the tee guy as long as we're successful, So Toro got his first home run as a Brewer. Miller and Weimer both got doubles. This was Miller's 10th double. Weimer got his 8th. Miller also had 2 RBIs, and Yelly and Weimer both had stolen bases in this game. Yelly had so many stolen bases in this week. It was insane.
He's just swiping.
Dude, he literally, and I'm not even joking, he literally might have 40 stolen bases this year.
Oh, I could easily see that.
That's insane to me.
Isn't he already at like 17 or 18?
I think he's at 16 or 17. I think he's at 16. If he gets to 40 stolen bases and 20 home runs, I don't understand how people are going to be like, oh, he's washed. Like, dude, that's a good year. 40 stolen bases and 20 home runs is a good
I'd be
year.
happy with 20-30, much less 20-40, but yeah,
exactly.
He's already.
He's gonna have 40 stolen bases if he stays healthy. Let's just say that.
Yeah, which
there's always that caveat.
Be fine.
Payamps looked good in this game. It was really nice for the Brewers to bounce back, because they were struggling. We have the hindsight right now, right, of us having a really good week, 5-2 week.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. We were struggling going into this game, so for the Brewers to come away with a W in this game is a really big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly cannot give enough credit to guys like Tehran and Colin Ray, that we're talking about that have come in and really righted the ship this season, because we were stumbling for a while, and every team in the Central was stumbling at some point, right?
Oh yeah.
And I was telling people, at work and just normal conversation, like, hey, they're getting this out of the way now so that they don't do it in August, and we're gonna go on a run. That's what's gonna happen this year. We're gonna get healthy. It almost feels like a Packer season where a bunch of people got hurt early in the year, and then we just run on a run the table year. You know what I'm saying? But Payamps looked good. Strzelecki, really nice to see him get his stride back, in my opinion. And Devin Williams, the always good Devin Williams. Yeah, the always good Devin Williams. But yeah, other than that, it was nice to see a good baseball game from the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. So what's up, Simon? Just talking some baseball. So this Blue Jays game, Abraham Toro in the top of the second inning makes the leadoff walk hurt that the Brewers drew that inning. Hit his first home run of the season. That's technically his first at-bat as a Brewer. He drew a walk in his first at-bat, so it didn't count as an at-bat. Yeah. Makes Abraham Toro the first Brewer to home run in his first official at-bat since Eric Sogard in 2017.
Jesus. What a stat.
The little guy, nerd power.
Wow. I haven't thought about that guy in a while, dude.
So I thought Weimer had one. I thought Weimer was going to put one out too in the same inning. He hit the light blue line that goes across the top of the fence. Mm-hmm. But the Brewers had Alex Manoah at 44 pitches in 2 innings. Manoah was sent to the ACL league. They sent him all the way down to like single A.
Oh my
That's
God.
How bad he's been this year.
Wow.
Now, the Brewers, like your point about being healthy, I think it's a very contextual point to make. You look at the teams that have the most injuries in baseball. It's like the Brewers. I think the Tigers are up there. The Dodgers actually have a lot. Yeah, but looking at it, like the Brewers, if you think about it, are pretty lucky to be, right at first place. I think they're a half a game up now because Pittsburgh lost to the Oakland A's last night, 11-2.
That's who we get next too.
I know. We'll get there. We'll get to the next ones. But Tehran, after 2 innings, was at 24 pitches. So 20 less pitches for Tehran than Manoah. Top of the 3rd inning, Blue Jays got a leadoff double. He got him stranded at 3rd base. Top of the 4th inning, Abraham Toro gets his 2nd hit of the game, a nice opposite field single. Brewers had 1st and 2nd with nobody out, left them stranded. That's where those opportunities are going to come for the offense. What's up, Tim? Simon said the A's are winning it all this year. The A's are definitely not winning it all this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't already eliminated from playoff contention.
I mean, if he's talking about the 1st overall pick, then yes, they are winning it all this year.
The A's going into last night were at 12-50.
Yep. Do you see how many wins they had in day games?
Oh my God, I don't care. They are 38 games under 500.
They were 1-24 in day games. I was like, holy cow.
That is brutal.
You have to be a real diehard to sit through that.
And hey, it's funny because former Brewer Jace Peterson just ruined the Pirates last night, which is hilarious. He had 5 hits, 2 home runs.
Oh my God.
Simon said Moneyball time. Yeah, maybe if they still had Brad Pitt down
there.
Yeah. Bottom of the 5th inning, an error gets Merrifield on. An awkward fly ball falls in front of Anderson and bounces past him. That's kind of just one of those awkward situations. Tehran did finish with 6 innings pitched and 1 unearned run. Only threw 79 pitches, which, for him, the appearances that he's made so far with the Brewers, he's made 3 starts as a Milwaukee Brewer. He has a 1.56 ERA in those 3 starts.
Yeah, he's been really good. I was going to say, because I saw his pitch count, it was one of those situations where you said with the council last week where the crystal ball, where I think he pulled him on at a good point. You know what I mean?
I have thoughts on Craig.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you patted me on the back for it. Thank you.
Yeah, no. I was thinking about that when I was taking my notes, and I was like, oh, Tyler was just touching base on this. Baseball.
Colin Ray.
Yeah, so you were just touching base on this, so I liked it.
Yeah. Douglas said they're making their pitch to go to Vegas. They are going to Vegas.
Yeah, they're going.
Yeah, they're for sure going to Vegas.
Yes, pun was intended, Simon.
Pun was intended. Making their pitch. I see what you did there. I didn't catch it at first. So top of the 7th, Weimer and Christian Yelich both get singles. They run a double steal, and then Owen Miller rips a double. It makes the game 4-1. You called that, by the way. So I have to give you credit for that. Because you're like, Owen Miller double right here. And he rips a double, dives into second base. A great dive, actually, for him to dive outside of the bag to avoid the tag. Bottom of the 7th, the Blue Jays got some traffic going. Piamps did a good job to limit the damage to only 1 run.
Yep.
Bottom of the 8th, you mentioned Strzelecki. 4 pitches to get the first 2 outs. Only needed 11 pitches total to go 1, 2, 3, 8th inning.
Mm-hmm.
And aided by a Brian Anderson laser throw from 3rd base, taking over for Toro. So that's Craig Counsell tinkering with the defensive placement, defensive alignment, using Brian Anderson in the outfield, letting some of the younger guys, Toro, Monasterio, Owen Miller, playing some of these corner positions. And then later in the games when the defenses needed more, putting Brian Anderson at 3rd base because the dude's got an absolute rocket of an arm.
I feel like it happens every game where Brian Anderson goes from right field to 3rd base. Every game.
It just makes one web gem.
Every game, dude.
Bottom of the 9th inning, Devin Williams gets behind 2-0, gives up a leadoff double. That was barely fair. Yeah. Gets behind 3-0 to Matt Chapman, one of the best hitters in not just the American League, but all of baseball. The lead baseball in extra base hits. Gets back to 3-2, and then gets a fly out from him. Snags a liner right at him for the 3rd out. That's got to be just so satisfying.
Yeah.
Fave Dodgers fan. And you're lucky you're not actually on the show, Greg, or you would get the Tony Reale mute -1 button.
Yeah, and he's a Lions fan, so he's going to be horrible this year. Oh my God.
You're lucky you were nice during draft season, Greg.
No, Greg's a cool dude.
So the Brewers, after this game, they got the win. The Brewers, after this game, were 8-3 in road games, decided by 2 runs or less. That was number 1 in Major League Baseball. I'll have to go through and add it up to add the Cincinnati series. But Jake mentioned earlier, he set the ball on the tee for me.
Mm-hmm.
No walks, no strikeouts. It was only the 7th time in franchise history. The last time the Brewers did it was July 11th, 1992.
And I was not here, and I'm old.
Yeah. So before either of us were born, the last time the Brewers won a game, actually the last time they had a game of no walks, no strikeouts.
That's a long time ago, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of walks and strikeouts, 7 strikeouts by the Brewers. That's fantastic. Greg, Robin Yount wasn't a pitcher though. But no, Robin Yount. I don't know when Robin Yount retired actually. As I mentioned, wasn't alive then. So,
hey, Robin Yount.
Okay.
Here's what I found.
There we go. Could you go over there? When did he retire? Oh, Jesus. See more on Wikipedia. I'll find it. Keep going.
Last thing that I wanted to mention with this game, the second game of the series, was Victor Caratini doing a great job behind the plate defensively.
He played from 74 to 93.
So he played from the year my dad was born until the year I was born.
Dang.
That's interesting. As I was about to look that up, I just saw that the Suns are waiving Chris Paul.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Did you see all that?
Simon said just type it in. Sheesh, millennials.
I was trying to do it fast, okay? And my phone was obviously being dumb, okay? It was pulling a Simon.
That's what you get for having an iPhone.
Never mind.
Okay. So what stood out to you from the third game of the Blue Jay series?
Well, I'm glad you brought up the strikeouts because the Brewers had 12 of them in this game, and that was ugly. Also, Weimer with another double. He did that a lot this week.
Mm-hmm.
Tellez with a rare triple. And Freddie Peralta was okay. He wasn't bad, I would say. But 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 walks, 3 earned runs, and 3 Ks. That's an all right start.
Mm-hmm.
I just have higher expectations for Freddie because I feel like he has that kind of elite stuff.
Right.
Trevor Miguel gave an inning, and you talked about him. He's just a massive human being.
Mm-hmm.
So when that thing's coming down on you at 99, 100 miles per hour, that's intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
And Piguero also had a good inning. I mean, he had two walks, but the 0 earned runs when you gave up 2 free passes is tremendous stuff, in my opinion.
Yep.
Other than that, the Brewers didn't have a lot of people on base, didn't do much on offense, but the pitching was still pretty good. They got out of this one. I was really hoping they would get 2 from the Blue Jays, so I would be wrong about my prediction, but they did not. So.
All right, Simon's heading out, so we can have a little less heckling from the comment section now.
Thank God.
It's okay, Simon. You're fired and rehired before the next show. So the thing that stood out to me with the beginning of this game, and this is where Freddie really got hurt, was that the Blue Jays were really being patient versus Freddie Peralta in the first inning. Both of their home runs that they hit against Freddie came on 2-strike pitches. Freddie did a good job to bounce back in the second inning, only threw 7 pitches. And you mentioned the 6 innings pitched. He finished great after the first inning. I mean, the second through the 6th was great. So yeah, I mean, that's really, really what I thought with Freddie Peralta. Greg is also heading to a meeting. Okay. Alrighty. Now we got a lot less heckling from the comment section. But I want to give some credit to Kevin Kiermaier. He's one of the best defensive center fielders in all of baseball.
Yeah, that's your
boy. The fact
boy.
that he is their 8th or 9th hitter in their lineup is uncalled for.
Yeah,
that dude is a really solid baseball player.
Yeah, Blue Jays are good too, man. They have a
Blue
very
Jays are
good
good, and they're playing in Toronto.
Yeah. I forgot to bring that up with Toro. That he's a Canadian and he hit the home run. Damn it. I wrote that down too. Damn it.
That's what you get for sleeping on your notes.
Yeah.
So top of the third, I wrote down that Joey Wiemer was heating up in this series. That's where he had the double. The double that he hit was 112 miles an hour off the bat.
Oof.
When he swings hard.
Dude, he's a big, strong kid, man. Big,
and
strong
he's 6'4", so he's big too. You mentioned McGill being big. Like Joey Wiemer is also big.
Yeah,
dude's 6'4", playing center field and as fast as he is.
Yeah, he's also like 220. He's like 220. So he's all of 6'4", 220, man. Yeah, he's gonna be a stud,
flies.
Man.
So bottom of the third inning, Freddie Peralta, another 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the fourth, another 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the fifth, he gets a single and a double play, and then a fly out, only 7 pitches, so kind of like a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah.
I mean, Freddie Peralta did pretty solid in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned McGill, the 7th inning, only 1 hit, had 1 strikeout, no runs. He threw 13 pitches. Okay. 13 pitches. 8 of them were 97 miles an hour or faster.
That's what he does. He brings the gas. That is his role.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then Peguero pitched the 8th, gives up a single. 2 pitches later, double play. Then he threw a walk and a broken bat single to Biggio, which should have been a strikeout in my opinion. Some questionable umpiring, but whatever. And then he follows it up by striking out Kevin Kiermaier with the bases loaded and a full count. That's big boy stuff from Elvis Peguero. That's part of the reason why he's in my power pair.
Yeah.
Top of the 9th inning, Rowdy Tellez led off with a triple. That's the 3rd triple of his career. Honestly, the funniest thing about that was Tim Dillard going, if you said first pitch slider, Rowdy Tellez is hitting a triple, you know what I'd say? I see it too. So Tim Dillard, just a goofy dude, but we love him. William Contreras drew a walk, and then Brian Anderson grounded into a double play, and Andrew Monasterio struck out. Just kind of an unfortunate end to the game.
Yeah.
You mentioned the 12 strikeouts, only 3 walks drawn by Brewers hitters. That's a 4-1. That's a tough ratio after being 7 strikeouts and 4 walks the game before.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about the Toronto series?
Nah, man. Playing in Toronto on the road against a really good team. Brewers put up a good fight. It's not like they got killed every game. So Blue Jays are good. Let's not overthink this. Right.
Yep. And they're, again, on the road as well.
Yeah. So then, going into this Red series, you're like, all right, this is where we're going to start ripping off some W's. And we said this last week too. So.
Yep. Yeah. So Brewers and Reds game 1, I have damn near a full page of notes from this game. This was a long game, so I took lots of notes, and then I went back and I looked at some of the fringe statistics, the exit velocities and pitch velocities. So I got a lot from this one, but what do you got?
So, for one, Corbin Burns is definitely not giving up. The guy is still barking and getting kicked out of games. He cares. Okay, yeah. So we got to end that narrative.
Corbin
That's got to stop.
Is checked out. Me.
Even all the trade talk, whatever, doesn't matter. The guy still cares. He still wants to do good individually, even if he doesn't like the team. And there's nothing saying that he doesn't like being a Brewer, So, for him, he went 6 innings, 2 hits. He did have 4 walks, 3 earned runs, and 7 Ks. So, could have been a little bit better control with the 4 walks, but other than that, he was fine in my opinion. Piamps, inning pitched, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Strzelecki, an inning pitch, 2 strikeouts. Williams, an inning pitch, strikeout. Peguero, inning pitch, strikeout. And Wilson ended the game giving up 1 hit, 1 earned run. No strikeouts, but the Brewers got away with a W. So for the RBIs, Carantini had 2 of them. Wiemer with a home run, absolutely ripped it. And this is where people started to be like, okay, Joey's starting to see the damn baseball, right? Terang got in the RBI train, and Wiemer with 2 RBIs with 2 outs. So that's a big thing to talk about there. Monasterio got his first double and stolen base, and Terang got his 8th stolen base of the year. So the Brewers put up 5 runs in this game, and I think the offense was starting to hum a little bit, and you were starting to see rumblings of what this team could really be when they're running on full cylinders.
Man, just imagine Garrett Mitchell was on this team too.
God, man, that makes me so mad every day.
It makes me sad. It doesn't make me mad. It makes me sad that we don't have Garrett Mitchell.
It makes me mad because I like watching him play because he's also a guy that can move. And think of all the lineup changes we could do with another left-handed bat in the lineup with power.
And having him and Weimer in the game at the same time.
You cover a lot of ground in that outfield.
Oh, man.
And Yelich in left field.
And with Yelich, dude, like that's foul line to foul line. Like, good luck finding a gap.
Yeah, it's good coverage. But
yeah. So Corbin Burns got off to a really nice start. 1-2-3, bottom of the first inning. Top of the second inning, Christian Yelich on first base. Joey Weimer with 2 outs, like you said. Absolute rocket that he hit.
Mm-hmm.
First pitch that he sees, 109 miles an hour off the bat, 432 feet. That is by 1 foot the second longest home run of the Brewers season. Only to Christian Yelich, who hit a 433.
Yep.
Then, I didn't notice this until I went and rewatched the game, that Joey Weimer, who was mic'd up for this game, this was an Apple Plus game, so Joey Weimer was mic'd up for it. He called that the game was going to go into extra innings.
Oh.
In the second inning, he called it.
What did he say?
He said, this game feels like it's one that's going to go to extras.
Huh, that's weird. To have
that bottom of the second, the Reds got a run back. Bottom of the third is when Darren Ruff crashed into the tarp, cut his knee, bleeding through his pants. He needed stitches. The fact that we found out after the fact that he fractured his kneecap and walked off the field, like, that dude's an absolute warrior.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody I invite to a bar fight when I need help.
Oh, my God, dude. To have a fractured kneecap and the fact that he's just bleeding through his pants like that and just casually walking off the field, like, yeah, I probably could have stayed in, but, I'll come out.
Yeah, that's
nuts.
Yeah.
So he got, unfortunately, transferred to the 60-day injured list, and that's where John Singleton got called up. And I mentioned this. I made a reel about it on Saturday morning. The Brewers have had 45 players active so far this season. Jeez. They had 53 all of last year.
My God.
They're on pace to beat that before the damn All-Star break.
Mm-hmm. Sadly.
And then, unfortunately, the injury was followed by insult. Jonathan India, who is very, very good. Credit to him. He's very good. Put the Reds up 3-2 with a 2-run homer.
Yeah.
The Reds got a single and a walk with 2 outs, but Burns closed the door on that. Top of the fourth, Christian Yelich, another single, 2 for 2 to start against the Reds, team that he loves playing against.
Yeah.
Monasterio grounded out to short. The throw goes wide, and the Brewers get second and third with 1 out. Joey Weimer draws a walk. Bases loaded for Victor Caratini. Gets an RBI ground out to tie the game at 3. Top of the 6th inning, Andrew Monasterio, just like Joey Weimer, just barely missed a home run. Like, missed it by like 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom of the 6th. This is where things get questionable.
Mm-hmm.
So the strike zone gets very tight. Very tight. Both Corbin Burns and Victor Caratini were both visibly frustrated. Corbin Burns makes that sliding catch at the end of the 6th inning, spikes the ball, and then the first pitch that gets thrown to Victor Caratini in the top of the 7th inning was wide and gets called a strike. That's where Corbin Burns starts talking from the dugout, gets tossed. He was at 100 pitches anyways, so he wasn't staying in the game or coming back to pitch the 7th inning. But the fact that the strike zone gets super tight in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Brewers against the Reds, and then the first pitch that the next Reds pitcher throws to Victor Caratini is outside and gets called a strike. Like, I understand Burns being pissed.
Yeah, me too.
So this stat was before the 7th inning. The Brewers had faced 17 left-handed starters. 13 of them had allowed 2 or fewer earned runs.
Yikes.
So that's tough. Definitely, like, not a secret that the Brewers could improve their offense by being better against left-handed pitching.
Mm.
You mentioned Payamps, the score of the 7th inning, 2 strikeouts, a walk, and a flyout. Joel Payamps is just painting the low inside corner with his sinker.
Yeah.
just painting corners. Like Bob Ross couldn't paint those corners any better.
I don't know. He's pretty good.
Man, I mean, we're just gonna paint some happy little baseballs. I love that. I love the idea of like a Bob Ross baseball crossover. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I did not come into this show today expecting to make a Bob Ross reference. I really
Neither
didn't.
did I.
The second strikeout that he had, he changed both levels and speeds. So this is what I wanted to bring up with Joel Payamps, and this is why my notes get kind of long. But so Joel Payamps threw 5 pitches to get his second strikeout. So the first pitch is a low and outside slider at 85 miles an hour. His second pitch is a down the middle slider at 85 miles an hour. The third pitch is up and in a 97 mile an hour sinker. 97.
Yeah.
His fourth pitch is a low and outside slider at 85, and then he goes to the outer third with a high four-seam fastball at 96. So he goes 85, 85, 97, 85, 96. And is just all the way around the strike zone in one pitch in the middle. So that was awesome by Joel Payamps. So I wanted to call that up. Bottom of the 8th inning, Peter Strzelecki leads the inning off with a hit by pitch, and then goes strikeout, pop out. Now Peter Strzelecki, this was his first strikeout of this inning.
Mm-hmm.
81, 91, 80, 92, 83, 92.
So I try to teach my stepson baseball because he doesn't play baseball. So I try to teach him through the video game.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have to switch off with pitching, I'm like, Aiden, you have to change their eye level and you have to change the speed.
Mm-hmm.
So you're changing their eye level and their timing.
Yep.
And he was like, why do you do that? I was like, well, then they can't like catch on to what you're doing.
Them.
I was like, if you go 95 to 93 and low and away all the time, they're obviously going to be looking for that.
Right.
So then if you go 97 up and in, then they're going to be like, whoa, hold on a second. And then you go 84 down low, then they're going to be like, okay, now I just don't know what's going on. So now he's getting good at it.
That last sentence that you just said is exactly what makes Devin Williams so damn good.
Yeah, because
the fact that he throws 95, 96, and then slows it down to 83, 84, and goes high, low, like it makes him untouchable.
Yeah, so he's been starting to get into baseball a little bit more, and I make him watch when Williams is pitching specifically, and he's a big Corbin Burns guy because, Cy Burns and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Devin Williams is fun to watch. So he pitched the bottom of the 9th inning, got a strikeout. There was an error by Owen Miller. It was kind of a high hop. It is what it is. I don't remember who the base runner was, but stole second base. And then Devin Williams got a pop-up and a ground out. So good job by Devin Williams to get through that. Top of the 10th inning, Owen Miller gets a single. They hold Bryce Terang at third. This is a trend that's going to continue. Wilson Contreras struck out. Christian Yelich drew a walk, so the Brewers had bases loaded with 2 outs, and Brian Anderson popped up. That ended the threat in the 10th. Bottom of the 10th inning. This is another reason why I have Elvis Peguero in my power pair. Dude has some big cojones. I can't even lie. I literally wrote that in my note. Big cojones by Elvis Peguero. Gets a fly out, has a hit by pitch. So first and second with 1 out. Another fly out. The Reds run a double steal. So they have a second and third with 2 outs. Elvis Peguero comes back with a strikeout, and he is pumped as he's walking off the field. Listen, the strikeout that Elvis Peguero threw took 4 pitches. 95, 97, 96, 97.
Gas. Gas.
That was awesome. And you can tell why he's pumped up. He's just reaching back for a little extra and just throwing a bunch of 95, 96, 97. That is awesome. Top of the 11th, Andrew Monasterio gets a single. They hold Brian Anderson at third base again. Joey Reamer draws a walk. The Brewers have bases loaded with nobody out. Victor Caratini grounds out. His hustle to avoid the double play does matter because the Brewers get a run there. And then Bryce Terang hits another ground out, and he hustles to not make it a double play, and the Brewers get another run. So just hustling out ground balls literally gave the Brewers 2 runs because the Reds went for a double play in both instances and didn't get it either one of them. So a couple of fielders' choices instead of ground into double plays. So that hustle matters.
Yeah.
Bottom of the 11th, we shared this on some of our reels and TikTok. Andrew Monasterio's web gem sliding in between the second base and shortstop hole, and a nice throw. The Reds did get an RBI double with 2 outs, made it 5-4 off of Bryce Wilson, gets the last out on a ground ball. You mentioned Corbin Burns, the bullpen, fantastic. The combination, Joel Payamps, Peter Strzelecki, Devin Williams, and Elvis Peguero combined for 4 innings, no hits, and 6 strikeouts.
Yep.
That was
one walk,
fantastic.
Too.
Fantastic. Owen Miller, Christian Yelich, and Andrew Monasterio each had 2 hits. Just really just a great game, honestly. Just a great baseball game to watch. Okay.
And the Reds uniforms look cool.
I know. I can't deny it. They're
the
black and red. They're badass. I can't even lie. The helmets are cool too. Like there's nothing wrong with it. They got cool uniforms. Their City Connects are sweet. Is what it is.
I don't hate the Reds, probably because we kick their ass all the time, but
that's fair. All right, let's go to the second game.
So this one, the Brewers offense apparently wanted to score all the runs in the first 3 innings. So Colin Ray started this one, and Colin Ray again, he's, to be completely honest with you, he might be one of my favorite Brewers right now, just because of the sheer fact that he's coming out of nowhere and just being a baller. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 walks, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks. Great American Ballpark is a tough place to pitch, so it's tough to just have great pitching stats there. I'm just gonna say that, not as like an excuse, but like it's true. It gives up a lot of home runs. You give up a lot of home runs there. Trevor Miguel, he also gave up 3 runs in an inning, 3 walks, so he struggled with control a little bit. Bryce Wilson was all right. Jake Cousins gave up 2 earned runs late in this one, and Devin Williams was absolutely locked down in this one. They only had 2 hits after the 4th inning. I just want to say that before I get into the RBIs. So the Brewers were dominant for the first 3 innings of this game, and then after the 4th inning, they only had 2 hits. Home runs, Perkins, first ever home run is a grand slam. So he joins a list of people that I brought up earlier, and I updated it. He joins a list of Bill Spires in 1989, Tim Unroe in 1997, Sean Markham in 2011, and Bryce Terang this season for their first home run to be a grand slam. So congrats to him. He ended the day with 5 RBIs, his first 5 of the season. Contreras, Miller, Weimer, Tellez, and Yelly all had RBIs. So everybody was contributing up and down the lineup. Absolutely fantastic thing to see. Yelly also got stolen base number 13, and Contreras had a home run as well. Contreras, I don't know if my expectations for him, and you can answer this, I don't know if my expectations for him were too high, or if, like, is he just, like, not the same? Is it someone with our lineup? Like, I expected him to just be a 300 hitter. I'm not going to lie.
I didn't expect him to be a 300 hitter.
Well, 280s maybe.
Last year with the Braves, he batted 278.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I would expect him to be, right around there.
Yeah.
The year before, he batted 215. So for this year, for him to be batting 231, he's pretty much in the middle of that. I would expect him to be at least over 250.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't say I expect him to be a 300 hitter. I did expect him to be a little more home run power, but he is at 7, so he's on pace with Yelich to be right around 20, which he hit 24 last year. So not outside the realm of missing expectations or anything like that, I don't think. So this game moved the Brewers to 24-6 when they score first. Christian Yelich drew a leadoff walk, stole second base, scored on a Rowdy Tellez single. Bottom of the first, the Reds get the run back. Top of the second, Joey Weimer drew a walk. Andrew Monasterio hit a single, not drew a single. Hit a single with 1 out. And then Blake Perkins, as you mentioned, his first RBI as a Brewer. had an RBI single, made the game 2-1. Christian Yelich RBI single made it 3-1. And then Owen Miller drove in another RBI on a fielder's choice, made it 4-1. Colin Ray responded. Bottom of the second inning goes 1-2-3. Top of the third inning, William Contreras leads off with a single. Brian Anderson draws a 4-pitch walk. John Singleton just misses a foul ball home run. Like launched a foul ball, just barely foul. Follows it up with an infield single. I did not have John Singleton infield single on my Brewers bingo card.
Bro, he can move for a big man.
He actually can, because he did that yesterday too.
Move.
He hit a ground ball and he actually like beat it out to not get doubled up.
Yeah, he can fucking move, man. I was like, holy crap, that is a big man moving.
He's faster than Prince Fielder.
Oh, hell yeah, he is.
So after that, Andrew Monasterio made the first out, and then Blake Perkins hit a first home run as a grand slam, 5th on the Brewers, just like Bryce Strang early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom of third inning, Joey Wiemer. It's not anything I'm going to get on his case about, but he got crossed up by another knuckling line drive. And the only thing I can say with that is it's the same thing that he got crossed over on in St. Louis. Like really the only 2 balls the entire season that he hasn't caught.
Yeah.
But for him, really what he's just got to do is kind of center himself on that more. So that way he can handle, going either direction if the ball moves when it gets closer to him, instead of kind of coming in on a curve like he's used to with normal fly balls and then trying to reach so far that the ball is then out of his reach. So he's just got to kind of center himself on those hard liners a little bit so that he has the opportunity to reach in either direction to make that catch on those knuckling line drives.
Mm-hmm.
Top of the fourth inning, that's William Contreras hit a solo shot. Bottom of the fourth, Colin Ray, 2 strikeouts. This is Trevor McGill. He didn't have his command at A+. He did give up the 3 earned runs, made the game 10-6. Bryce Wilson, scoreless 8th and 9th. And then Jake Cousins, same thing, just didn't have his A+ command. All 3 of the first 3 batters reached. Brought the tying run to the plate, and that's where Devin Williams came in because it came at potential save at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Williams goes strikeout, walk, makes it 10-8, and then follows with 2 more strikeouts. Really huge bounce back for him after the 2 walks.
Yeah.
Both of those strikeouts were swinging strikeouts too. So with this, 2 other things I want to bring up. Both of them are 8 out of 9 things. So 8 out of 9 Brewers starters had hits. 8 out of 9 Reds stolen bases with 2 outs. I saw so many people making a big deal out of the amount of stolen bases that the Reds had against the Brewers in this game. And I went back and I tallied it up, how many of their stolen bases they made with 2 outs, because the Brewers pitching is more focused on the guy at the plate than the guy at the bases. And that's what the guys on the bases want you to be doing. They want you to be looking at them, like thinking like, oh, shoot, what about this guy? Getting distracted from the guy at the plate.
Yeah.
So I'm actually okay with that, focusing on getting the guy at the plate, because then the guy on the bases doesn't matter, especially in a game where you're winning by a lot of runs.
Mm-hmm.
Much rather focus on the guy at the plate than the guy on the bases. So the 9 stolen bases, when you consider that 8 of them came with 2 outs, I'm really not that concerned.
I wasn't even going to bring it up, but I know it was a big discussion.
Yeah. So what stood out to you from the third game of the series?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, me and you are fortune tellers. We both said that Hauser was going to go 7. Like, imagine if Hauser went 7.
Yep.
And then we both, like, immediately back-to-back went 11 pitches in the first inning. That's a good start. So he was awesome in this game. Yes. He did have his A+ command.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 strikeouts, 1 earned run, and no walks. That's an Adrian Hauser special.
Yes.
Peguero, 1 inning pitched, no hits, no walks, no earned runs, 1 strikeout. Strzelecki, 0s across the board, 1 inning pitched. So absolutely lockdown stuff from those 3 guys.
Yep.
Carantini with an RBI that he ripped. He ripped a home run, and I swear to God, he let go of the freaking bat faster than the ball left the stadium. Like
he stood and watched it. Like he knew it was gone.
dude, he let go of that bat so fast. Like he hit it, and it was like as he was hitting it, he was letting go of the bat. Like that was amazing to see. Monasterio with his first homer as a Brewer, so that was awesome. Three RBIs on that one, and Miller with another RBI. Miller just continues to hit.
Mm-hmm.
He's not as surprising to some Brewers fans as he was when he first started to get on his hot streak, but he's more of a consistent piece in that lineup, which we definitely needed. We just need a couple others to follow suit. If Brian Anderson can start getting going, it looks like Joey Weimer's on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we get a Christian Yelich, hot streak of 15 games where he just hitting the ball like crazy. He's really nice for
base a lot lately.
Yeah, right. It'd be really nice for Rowdy Tellez or Willie Adames to get hot. I think I would do some questionable things for a Willie Adames like July where he goes crazy. I think all Brewers fans need that. Kieran Teeney's home run was really the thing that stood out to me in this game because that was an awesome highlight.
So, top of the first inning, Owen Miller and John Singleton drew walks, and then with 2 outs, Andrew Monasterio hit his first career home run that gave the Brewers a 3-0 lead. You mentioned the Adrian Hauser first inning, 11 pitches. He also threw 11 pitches in the second inning.
Yeah.
Bottom of the third, Owen Miller, barehanded play along the third baseline like a stud. Just Owen Miller just out there doing it all, really.
Yeah, man, he's a beast, dude.
He is. Adrian Hauser, 35 pitches through 3 innings. Bottom of the fourth, Reds get 2 on with nobody out. Fly out and a double play to follow. That's great work by Adrian Hauser.
Mm-hmm.
Then the top of the 5th inning, that's where that home run happens. So you mentioned that he blasted it. No doubt home run. He stood to watch it. 429 feet on that bad boy.
Yeah, dude. And that sucker was a rope. That wasn't like a...
Yeah.
That was a freaking rope, dude.
Yeah, he smoked that one.
Yeah, he did.
Very exciting. Not Owen Miller. Joey Weimer. So he hits... I think it was a double. I think it was a Joey Weimer double. Made 5 of his last 10 batted balls over 102 mile an hour exit velocity.
Wow.
So not only is Joey Weimer getting hits, he's hitting the ball hard.
Yes.
Scored on Owen Miller's single, made it 5-0. Bottom of the 5th, Adrian Hauser got another inning double play. Through 6 innings on just 78 pitches. Bottom of the 7th, he gave up a lead-up solo shot, broke the shutout, but he got through 7 innings on only 92 pitches.
Yeah.
Great stuff by him. Elvis Peguero and Peter Strzelecki pitched the scoreless innings, like you mentioned. Rowdy Tellez was 2 for 4 in this game. It just didn't really factor into the final result. Andrew Monasterio was taken out as a precautionary measure. He's obviously back and playing good. And then Victor Caratini, like you mentioned. So the Brewers now, after this game, 26-6 when scoring first.
Yeah, and their record when they don't score first is opposite.
Yes. So let's go to the 4th game of the series. This one is where I saw a lot of complaining. Like, we literally have already taken 3 out of 3 games, and the worst we can do is a 3-1 in a 4-game series, and people are just on Facebook complaining. Like, people, do you realize if the Brewers won 3 out of every 4 games, they'd have 120 wins on the season?
That's a lot.
That's a shit ton. That's like Major League Baseball record number of games won.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So for people to be complaining about the 1, like you just got to take some things in perspective.
Yeah.
It was rough. The Brewers only had 3 hits, 7 total base runners. But look at this pitching.
Yeah.
The pitching.
Yeah,
Tehran was fantastic. It's kind of unfortunate that he took a loss in 6 1/3 innings, only 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. That's great stuff by Julio Tehran. Hobie Milner through 2/3. What's that?
I just had to point this out. Since his last start, he had no strikeouts. I like after the first strikeout, he was laughing his ass off, dude. That was hilarious to me. And they pointed it out when they were commentating too. It was like, that's funny.
Hobie Milner threw 2/3 of an inning and 7 pitches. And then Trevor McGill, a good bounce back from him. He pitched a scoreless inning. Only gave up, actually didn't give up any hits, and had 2 strikeouts. So this is Trevor McGill is similar to me how Adrian Hauser went, where he went, a couple good outings, one kind of tough one, and then back to good outings. That's how I feel about Trevor McGill.
Yeah.
I really don't have a ton of stuff from this 4th game. Just the pitching was really the silver lining of the game, and the Brewers had 3 out of 4 won.
Yeah, and two of the 3 hits were from Joey Weimer, putting him at 11, which now he leads the team in doubles. So
that's true. He does lead the team in doubles. Him
maybe
and Owen Miller are going back and forth.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. Hopefully they just keep doing that.
Yeah, that would be great. Iron sharpens iron. Okay. Anything else you want to say about the 4th game of the Cincinnati Reds series?
No, it felt good to get a series win.
It's taking 3 out of 4 was great.
Yes.
Yeah, especially winning the first 3 and then, just going into that 4th one, icing on the cake. And it's not, to the point that, the Brewers didn't try because they had already won 3 games. Like, I don't think any of that is the case. It's just one of those things where the Reds actually going into that series were playing pretty good baseball. They've gotten themselves to 3rd in the division, ahead of the Cardinals and the Cubs. So the Reds are actually playing pretty good baseball, and now they just called up their top prospect.
Yeah, so
yeah, the Reds are a little sneaky. I'll say that.
Them and the Pirates, I think in the next 3 years are going to be really good.
Yeah,
but I also think the Brewers could still have a chance to be really good too. So
right, just some exciting players with the last name Cruz to watch.
Yeah.
Right. O'Neal Cruz for the Pirates and Ellie De La Cruz for the Reds. Some exciting players to watch in our division.
Yeah.
Good thing we play fewer divisional games starting this season. So
they could kill us less, right?
Yeah. Fewer divisional games means more inter-league play, which means the Baltimore Orioles are in Milwaukee. So Luis Urias gets to play against his older brother for the first time. But what stood out to you from last night's game?
Man, so many things stood out. 3 of the 4 people who got RBIs were all with 2 outs. Anderson, nice. Toro, and Weimer's game winner was with 2 outs, a 1-2 count. So we were down to our last strike. Our last strike, and Weimer just comes through clutch. That's awesome. Terang hit a triple with 1 out and a 1-2 count. So that was a clutch at bat for him as well to tie the game after Perkins got on. Yelly stole 2nd and 3rd last night. You don't often see people steal 3rd base, but he stole 2nd and 3rd, so he had 2 stolen bases up to 16. He's first on the team.
He got a 14-step lead off second base, and he was just like, all right, fuck it. Basically what the Reds did against the Brewers in the 3rd game of that series.
Right.
You're just going to stare at the dude at the plate? All right, fuck it. I'll take a stolen base. That's basically the exact same thing.
Right. Perkins got his first stolen base on that Terang triple. Terang also up to 9, so he's tied for 2nd on the team with 9 stolen bases with Joey Weimer. So Weimer and Terang have 9. So Weimer's doing his thing, man. He's playing defense. He's leading the team in doubles. He's 2nd in steals. I mean, if he gets that batting average up to a respectable amount, I think that he's going to be a tremendous player.
I think he's not going to wear another Nashville jersey if he does that.
I agree with that. As far as pitching goes, Peralta, 2 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 9 strikeouts. Yeah.
Dude, disgusting. He didn't walk anybody. He had 9 strikeouts and 0 walks.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
I'll let you finish because I want to say something about that.
Yeah, we only had 1 strikeout as a pitching staff. We gave up 8 hits as a pitching staff, so that's not too bad either. And a lot of strikeouts. Peguero added a strikeout. Payams had a strikeout. McGill had a strikeout. Williams and Strzelecki had 2 strikeouts. That's a ton of strikeouts.
Yeah,
both teams combined, I believe the number was, if I remember correctly, it was 34 between the Brewers and Orioles. There was 34 strikeouts last night.
16 by the Orioles and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 15, 16. So 32. 16
32.
By each.
Okay, 32 strikeouts is what it was. I thought it was 34, but yeah, 32 strikeouts from both teams. So a lot of strikeouts last night.
That is a lot of strikeouts, even for an extra innings game.
Yeah,
what's up, James? Yeah, that's a lot of strikeouts. So, top of the first inning, Freddie Peralta goes a 1-3 inning on 13 pitches. Great start by him. Bottom of the first inning, Christian Yelich leads off with a home run. John Singleton, he had a good rip, and he went to the opposite field, to his credit, just right at the left fielder. William Contreras worked a walk. Rowdy Tellez flew out, and then Brian Anderson ripped a single for 1-0 lead. I want to give Brian Anderson credit because he's had some tough goes at the plate lately, but shortening up his swing with 2 strikes to just kind of dump the ball onto left field on a low pitch, just shortening up the swing and just kind of putting the bat on the ball. That's good stuff by Brian Anderson. That's a veteran approach at the plate. So I wanted to give him credit for that. Abraham Toro followed up with a really nice rip with a 1-0 with a single to make it 2-0. And then Luis Urias was hit by a pitch. Bryce Terang struck out to end the inning. Gibson was at 35 pitches after the first inning.
Yeah.
And this is just tough. Orioles follow the first inning. Sorry, the Brewers' first inning. Open the top of the second with a double and a home run, and it's 2-2. Mm-hmm. It took the Brewers 8 guys to get 2 runs to manufacture them, and it took the Orioles 2 guys to tie the game.
Yep.
So this is where, there is value in manufacturing runs and being able to score in multiple ways, but the long ball changes games in a hurry.
Yes, it does.
So there's a lot of complaining about the Brewers, being too reliant on hitting home runs. But the fact of the matter is, it can break games open. It can catch you up, and it can change things in a hurry, being able to hit home runs.
It is like the 3-pointer in basketball.
That's fair. And basically what the Brewers have been doing is drafting a bunch of guys who draw a lot of walks, don't strike out much, and get on base. And then they're going to put these boppers in the lineup. The Rowdy Tellez, the Willy Adames, the William Contreras. I mean, those guys are going to be in the lineup following all the guys that get on base all the time. Mm-hmm. Joey Weimer, for example. Like, these guys are going to be batting ahead of those boppers so that the Brewers can put balls in the seats and take, 2, 3, 4 runs on one swing of the bat. That's how the Brewers are looking to build for their future based on their last, I would say, 3 drafts. Mm-hmm. I think Garrett Mitchell was kind of the catalyst of the start of that draft strategy.
Yeah, but he has power. So does
he
Weimer.
Does. He's got some sneaky power to him. Mm-hmm. Abraham Toro, web gem. A really nice dive in the shortstop third base hole and a nice pop up and throw out. Freddie Peralta took him 30 pitches to get through the second inning, but he did. Bottom of the second, Joey Weimer flies out. Christian Yelich gets down 0-2, works it back to 3-2, and then rips another double. Beautiful stuff by Christian Yelich. Mm-hmm. It was an 8-pitch at bat, and didn't result in anything else for the Brewers. But that's great stuff by Christian Yelich.
Yep.
Top of the third inning, that's where Joey Weimer makes that hustle play in center field between the center field and right field gap. That kept the Orioles from grabbing the lead. That play mattered in the grand scheme of things when you talk about how this game ended, having the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah.
Top of the fourth inning, Freddie Peralta struck out the side. Bottom of the fourth inning, Bryce Terang rips a triple. Man, he needed that hit.
Man, did
he needed that one bad. He did get stranded at third base, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Top of the fifth inning, Freddie Peralta grabs 2 more strikeouts. And so Freddie Peralta, like you mentioned, the 9 strikeouts. So Freddie Peralta has had 7 strikeouts or more 5 times in 2023 now. He only did it 4 times in all of 2022.
Oh, wow. There's a stat.
So people got to put a little respect on Freddie Peralta.
Yeah.
Top of the 6th inning, Elvis Peguero. 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. Great work by him. Bottom of the 6th inning, nice work by Bryce Terang to work a walk. Ultimately stranded. Top of the 7th, Yoel Payamps gets a strikeout, gives up a solo shot. That's the first home run that he's allowed since May 12th.
Yeah.
So he's been almost a month since Payamps gave up a home run. But bottom of the 7th, Christian Yelich gets a leadoff single. You mentioned he stole second and third. Now, This is the third time that Christian Yelich has had 3 hits and 2 stolen bases in the same game. The last time he did it was September 1st, 2016, as a member of the Marlins.
Wow.
So it's been 7 years almost since Christian Yelich had 3 hits and 2 stolen bases in the same game.
Holy shit.
First time he did it as a Brewer. Yeah, good luck, James. Get it done. Top of the 8th inning. Trevor McGill, scoreless inning, capped by a Luis Urias diving catch. That's great work. Trevor McGill hit 100 twice. Bottom of the 8th inning, Blake Perkins, leadoff walk. It was the 3rd straight leadoff batter on base. Then he stole second base. And Bryce Terang, man, he needed this one too. Gets an RBI single, ties the game at 3. Just a big hit. Bryce Terang then stole second. Weimer struck out. Christian Yelich drew a walk. And that was ultimately it. Top of the 9th, Devin Williams, strikeout, fly out. Great work by him. Bottom of the 9th, Brewers, 3 strikeouts. This is where some credit needs to be given to Baltimore. Now, we like talking about Devin Williams because he's an absolute stud. His stuff is untouchable. Now, I gotta look up his first name. Felix Bautista of the Baltimore Orioles. That dude's uncalled for. That dude is so damn good. It's just wrong. Dude's throwing 102 miles an hour, and then he throws a pitch that's 80 and drops 18 inches. That's disrespectful.
That's illegal. That should be illegal.
Oh my God, that's uncalled for. So nasty. Yeah. Nothing but credit to that dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was. If it didn't happen to my team, oh man.
Still, even though it happened, it was like, okay, he's good.
Oh man, that's nuts. Top of the 10th inning, you mentioned Peter Suzuki. He had 2 strikeouts. Good work by him. Bottom of the 10th with 2 strikes, 2 outs. Joey Weimer hits the walk-off. That's the third rookie in franchise history to have 2 walk-offs. Jeff Jenkins and BJ Surhoff are the other 2.
Jeff Jenkins, dude. What a name. Jeff Jenkins.
So, yeah. Joey Weimer, the 3rd rookie to have 2 walk-offs in the same season. Now, I want to talk about this because Blake Perkins was squaring to bunt to start the 10th inning. Now, the only time, and I know I am very vocal about being anti-bunt, and I stand by that. I still don't want to bunt. You're giving your opponent free outs, and they thank you for it. The only time that I'm willing to have a guy bunt to move a runner over is in the bottom of extra innings with 0 outs. That is the only time.
I'm on board with that.
Because what it does is it puts a guy at third base with 1 out where a sacrifice fly can score him.
Yeah, and you get 2 cracks at it, really. Or right. 1 crack, really.
Well, 1, yeah. You get 1 chance to make an out that scores a run.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do it with 1 out and you bunt to advance a runner, you still need a hit.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the guys on the Brewers are fast enough to score at second base on a single anyways, so there's really no point in doing it.
Yeah.
And obviously you don't bunt with 2 outs, but I mean, there's no incentive to do it at any other point.
I'm okay with that.
And I know people will claim, the Brewers lost this game by 1 run. They lost this game by 1 run. You don't know that when you're going into the 3rd inning of a game.
Right.
That 1 run is going to make the difference.
Right.
Because what it does is often the main thing that it does is it usually takes your chances away from scoring multiple runs to settle for scoring 1 run. Fuck that. No. I would much rather have a chance to score multiple runs than to have a better chance of scoring 1. Like you're talking about playing small ball, that you're literally playing small ball.
True.
And I get that the Brewers have the pitching to win close games, but I mean, they've had a couple games where they've gotten some big leads and some teams have kind of come back on them a little bit. So no, I don't want to have to rely on winning games by 1 run.
Brewers are good in 1-run games, though.
I want to score lots of runs.
True.
So we don't have to sweat these games out. We don't have to have all these high stress Devin Williams coming in for 5-out save games.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the playoffs, it's a different situation because playoff baseball is much more intense. But, I mean, we're not in the playoffs. We're in June.
Yeah.
So the only time I want to bunt is in the bottom of extra innings of a tie game with 0 outs. That's the only time.
Well, I agree with you. This game moved the Brewers to 9-3 in one-run games and 3-0 in extra inning games.
4-0. This
4-0.
was
Sorry, 4-0.
They were 3-0 before this one.
Yeah,
now they're 4-0.
4-0.
Yeah. This game also. You got that one already. Okay. So, yeah. 4-0 in extra inning games. Now, looking at the schedule, the Brewers have tonight and tomorrow against Baltimore, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday against Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're off Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday at Minnesota. So we're looking at 7 games. What do you think? How many games are the Brewers going to win out of 7 in the next week?
I'm going 5-2 again, man. I think they'll split with Baltimore, sweep the A's, and they'll split with Minnesota.
That's exactly what I have in my notes. I have 1-3-1 written for those. A 5-2 week. Take one of the two from Baltimore, win that series. Would be a nice series win to have. I agree with you on the sweep of Oakland and splitting in Minnesota. So that's where I'm at as well.
Corbin Burns is due for a Cy Burns outing.
Yeah.
He's overdue.
Last outing, but
he's overdue.
And I will say on the subject of Freddie Peralta, what I wanted to say about him is last night we saw the capability that he has of being an ace level starting pitcher.
Yep.
I believe he has that capability. It really just comes down to execution with Freddie Peralta.
Yep.
I believe he has that capability of pitching at an ace level. And he just needs a little respect put on him. So, all right. Anything else you want to throw out there?
No. Let's go another 5-2 week, and all of a sudden we'll start separating ourselves from the pack, man.
Yes. Did you intentionally say Pac-Man?
No. Just happened.
Okay.
Beautiful mistake.
All righty. We will be back next week. Next week, we're going to have a little bit of extra stuff. We're going to get a little more information from the Adrian Griffin press conference. Look into some of the more nuanced ways the Brewers can improve. And like I mentioned at the start of the show, we got a lot of extra bonus content coming and a lot of stuff planned to have some fun stuff going on this summer with some bonus episodes and such.
Yep.
Other than that, we are looking at doing Mill Street Day. It is going to be July 8th in Plymouth. That's going to be a fun time. They shut down the main street in Plymouth, and it's just packed with tents and people and cool vendors and stuff. We will be there. Mental Health America Lakeshore will be there. Tyler from Wisco Ball will be there. So it's just a really good time, and we are going to be there as well. So July 8th, come out for that. Other than that, I will see you next week.
Yep. See you next week, man.
Thanks for watching, everybody.